Welcome to Rad, a daily reader for Reddit. Like and subscribe for daily Reddit videos. I am David Tennant and I was the 10th Doctor Who, Kilgrave in Jessica Jones and Crowley in Good Omens. I am here today to talk to you about the second season of my podcast David Tennant Does a Podcast. With, quote, Ask Me Anything. Hello everyone, it's David Tennant. I portrayed the 10th Doctor on BBC's Doctor Who and I am here today to talk to you about the second season of my podcast David Tennant Does a Podcast with, quote, On this season, I am sitting down, virtually, with some of the biggest names in entertainment, including Dame Judi Dench, Jim Parsons, Stacey Abrams, Elizabeth Moss and more. This is following an incredibly fun first season where I spoke with the likes of Jon Hamm, Whoopi Goldberg and James Corden. Each episode gives you an inside look at these stars' lives, packed with revealing conversation, surprise stories and, of course, lots of laughs. I'm looking forward to sharing these with you. Episode 1 is live today. Listen to it on Apple Podcasts. Proof. I.read.it. David, as a decent person, a father and a British man, how do you feel about the fact that you had to microwave tea in Broadchurch? Question sent by Marion. I was reheating the tea, not microwaving it from cold. I'm not an animal. This was so important, you jumped in early to set the record straight. I can't find many interviews about your role in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. What was it like being in such a big franchise and do you have any fond memories of being on set? I wasn't on Harry Potter for all that long. I think I did 10 days or so over a year. So I always felt a bit like a visitor. But it was great to be part of something so extraordinary. They only gave me a little chair though. So when everyone was sat around Maggie Smith and Michael Gambon and Alan Rickman and Daniel Radcliffe all towered over me in these fancy cast chairs. Still a pleasure to be there though. Barty Crouch, Jr., do people often bring up your role these days? I was baffled thinking how you managed to do all Mad Eye Moody's parts in just 10 days when you're the main antagonist in the entire film. Then I realized you didn't actually put Brendan Gleeson in a trunk and swig Polly Chew station, pretending to be him the whole time. Hi David, massive fan. During your time on Doctor Who, what were your favorite episodes to film and would you like to appear in an episode with Jodie Whittaker? PFFFFD. I can't nominate a favorite. It wouldn't be fair. It would be like choosing your favorite child. And apparently you aren't allowed to do that. Apparently, tears of joy. Hello, who would your dream podcast guest be? Anyone that you would love to have on but don't think would ever happen? William Shakespeare or Obama? Oh man, please get Obama. Hi David, you've been involved in so many iconic nerd properties over the years. From Marvel to DuckTales and even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Would you consider getting involved in more franchises with big fan followings? Is there a franchise that you would love to cross off your voice acting bucket list? E.g. Transformers, Power Rangers, Star Trek. Star Trek would be great. After talking to George Takei for the podcast I got a bit immersed in it. Oh my. Can we get him as Q? I need him as Q. Kilgrave was one of the most unsettling villains I've seen on screen. Did you ever creep yourself out when you were in character for that role? I'd have been a pretty useless villain if I creeped myself out. I saved that up for JJ. I agree with the parent comment. You were absolutely terrifying as Kilgrave. With so many horror films and super villains out nowadays, it amazed me how much your portrayal of Kilgrave unsettled me in a profound way. Well done, sir. Do you take just a little bit of pride in causing such a visceral reaction for so many fans with your perfect characterization of such a heinous villain? Hi David, what are you most proud of in life? Big fan smiley face. My family. What are you second most proud of? Your family. I also choose this guy's family. David, are you actually answering these questions? Or are you drinking wine while Georgia types out replies? I wish I was. Where the F **K is my wine. Georgia! Exclamation mark! 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 Hi David. Big fan. Having read Good Omens, I believe that you helped make possibly the most direct one-to-one adaptation of a book ever created. Absolutely fantastic job. I would love to know what was your favorite scene in it to film and why. The opening of EP3, where we travel through history with AZ and Crowley, was just such joy to film. Hi, David. Adore the podcast. What's a favorite story or fact you've learned so far? Either about a guest or your own experience in creating the podcast. George Takei's childhood is pretty extraordinary, and awful and shocking, and how that has informed his life is amazing. You once said in an interview that you love characters who are clever and smart, and you have to run to catch up with. Who would you say out of everyone you've played is the biggest reflection of this? Well, the Doctor is pretty smart. So is Hamlet, Crowley and Good Omens too. Anyone who is wittier than me. Which is most characters in the end. Hi David. Thanks so much for doing this. Do you have any books or albums you discovered in quarantine that you'd recommend? I've got 5 kids. Quarantine hasn't really allowed much time for anything beyond keeping everyone in one piece. Quarantine daily goal. Keep kids alive. Basic checklist 1. Have they eaten? 2. Are they playing in the street, woods, cave, desert? 3. Is there screaming? Successful day achieved, so far. 4. Are they being really quiet? Oh crap! Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. I forgot that one. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Stepping away. For an unrelated reason. Good thing you're still in the beta phase. What is your favorite Shakespeare play, and why? Hamlet probably. It's transcendental, although I reserve the right to change my mind about that at any point. Hi Mr. Tennant. I am a big Good Omens fan, and I was wondering what did you enjoy most about being a part of that show? If anything. Probably working with Michael Sheen, and strutting about like I owned the place. Although the trousers were very tight. Huge fan of the podcast and your other work. How did you decide on the format for your podcast? What made you want to go the long-form conversation route rather than another type of podcasting? Here's the thing, Alec Baldwin's podcast, he had such great people on it. He was perceptive and cool, and I think I just want to be Alec Baldwin probably. Hi David, how are you? What's something on your to-do list that you haven't checked off? I've got a big pile of papers and things that I am studiously ignoring. I'm looking at them now. They seem to be going away. You and Neil Gaiman are probably my favorite cult celebrities. What is your favorite moment or interaction when working together? Was it creative, fun, serious, weird, all the above? Oh, it's still to come. Stay tuned. If you had a functioning TARDIS, where would you immediately take it? Either to the Cavern to see the Beatles in the very early 60s, or to the first performance of Hamlet at the Globe Theatre. Or perhaps I'd choose to get involved in some recent moments of history and save us all from the variety of disasters we have voted ourselves into. David, what's your favorite country that you've visited? I have to say Scotland, don't I? Although I love California, I know that isn't a country. What is a movie and or song that always makes you cry no matter how many times you watch or hear it? Question mark. It's a Wonderful Life, The Scene in the Bank, and White Wine in the Sun by Tim Minchin. Are you my mummy? No. First time caller, long time listener. How did you prepare for your role as Kilgrave in Jessica Jones? Any particular comics and storylines you like the most? Who would you want to portray in DC if given the opportunity? I'm very happy to play whoever DC suggests. Kilgrave is a brilliant character and there are different versions of him down the years of comics. The version I had to deal with was the one from Melissa Rosenberg and her brilliant team's script. So I focused on that, I suppose. The history of the character was interesting as a fan of comic books, but our version was specific to the world of Jessica Jones. This question might seem a bit odd, but do you think of yourself as David Tennant or David MacDonald? If you were a guest on a podcast like yours, who would you like to be interviewed by? William Shakespeare or Obama? Hi David. A lot of the characters you've played have distinctive styles. Do you have a favorite costume you got into wear? I have a white shirt that is my favorite shirt ever. It's from All Saints and I got it on a job, but I can't remember which one. But also getting to plunder every Paul Smith suit in NY that was in any shade of purple or blue for Kilgrave was very pleasing. I didn't get to keep a single one. Hi David. In your career you had pretty wide variety of roles, from sci-fi icons to Shakespeare. We as viewers get to enjoy it so much. But how do you choose them? What are you looking for in each next job you take? Thank you and have a good day. Something different, something fun, something challenging, a good story, good people to work with, or ideally, all of the above. Hi David. Thanks for doing his IAmA and giving us the chance to tell you how awesome you are. Here I go. You're awesome. My question: if the whole acting thing hadn't worked out, what do you imagine you'd be doing instead? Probably teaching English or maybe drama, but I fear I wouldn't have been very good at it. David, what inspired you to have Stacey Abrams on your upcoming podcast, and is she every bit as awesome as she seems? Smile. I live in Georgia, and if it weren't for widespread voter suppression, I am convinced she would be our state's governor right now. I think she is magnificent. And then I heard she was a Doctor Who fan, so I chanced that she might respond. She proved to be even more extraordinary in person. Marmite. Yes. No. Yes. DT. Huge fan. Thanks for 10. Hamlet. Broadchurch. Good Omens. Fright Night. Deadwater Fell. Staged. Too many great experiences to name. I'm graduating with my master's this weekend without a ceremony as this crisis continues in the US. I'm about to hit the field of professional librarianship and was wondering if you had any tips, advice, or encouragement for being bold and energized in difficult situations. How do you tap into your creativity, passion, and inspiration in adversity? First rule of being a librarian: make sure you can say Donna Noble has been saved. Hi David. What are some methods you use to prepare for your roles? Advice to aspiring actors to get in character: be on time, learn your lines, be nice. The rest is up to you. What's been the most challenging part of making the podcast so far? The most delightful. For this season, the little microsecond delay that speaking over the internet produces takes a bit of getting used to, and there were occasional glitches with variable internet here and there, but I don't think you can tell in the finished edits. It's a bit of a fiddle doing things remotely, but at least I didn't have to travel very far to get to anyone. I'm surprised you haven't tried tape sync. The delay would still be there in your actual conversation, but the edit would be way simpler and wouldn't have internet connectivity glitches. Tape sync is how we get a lot of podcasts and radio interviews sounding top-notch without interfering with the actual conversation being recorded. It's a lot like filming with two cameras simultaneously. We do this sometimes, but that depends on the tech available. Who do you most want to have a podcast with that you can't at the moment? Shakespeare or Obama? Hi David. Which of your roles would you say was the most difficult to play and why? Thanks for watching Rad. Like and subscribe for daily Reddit videos. If you like these videos, check out Rad too.